Hi there, I'm Sprinkles, and we'd like to welcome you to join First Ascents on a mindfulness journey. Since 2001, First Ascents has been providing healing adventures to our community of young adults dealing with serious health conditions. And in that time, we found that some of the same questions and concerns come up before and after going on a program. We're not healthcare professionals, and so this is not intended as medical advice, but instead guidance for addressing some universal themes. We believe that mindfulness practices are helpful while out on an adventure and while navigating the ups and downs of physical and mental health. The practices included are tools that are inspired from my trauma-informed yoga therapy training and experiences as a longtime caregiver. Participation is voluntary, so feel free to choose your own adventure and take only whatever feels helpful to you. As always, please consult your medical team if you have health-related questions.
Hi, welcome to Breathe and Stretch. I'm going to teach you four mindful movements that are going to get you present and ready for adventure. And they also help you to tune into your body and out of your mind when you're just navigating the stress of life and maybe navigating a medical diagnosis and just everything else that can go on. So these are good to do at any point, but they will also help to prepare you for your first ascents experience. So the first thing I always recommend doing is to ground down and get present. We're going to do that together by finding mountain pose. And in order to do that, I always like to shake it out first. So kind of like shake the body, or you may decide to do like a more graceful, like octopus movements if like shaking feels too aggressive. But whatever is going to just like move energy through your body so that you can get the wiggles out before we start to come into stillness. All right, then take your feet a little more than hip width distance apart. So it's almost like you have this triangular base, like a mountain. Feel your feet rooting down from the toes back to your heels. Feel the outer edges of your feet lift up through the arches so that your feet are really just plugging down. And this is also good when you're navigating maybe neuropathy because you're sensing into the different parts of your feet and just noticing what is happening there. So if you have the numbness, then you can kind of feel in. But if there's pain, you're also trying to find that balance of what feels good to you. All right. And let's go ahead and start to stack your ankles over your feet, knees over ankles, hips over knees, feeling that nice strong base, lifting up through the spine, shrugging shoulders up, letting them fall down your back, wiggle down, step through the crown of your head, and feel your strength here, like you're a mountain that's unwavering no matter what storm is navigating around you. And then from here, we're going to center ourselves. So just coming into nice, steady breath. Inhaling from the feet to the crown of the head. Exhaling head down to feet. A few more breaths like that. So with each breath, you maybe feel a little more present and centered. Okay, and then from this mountain pose, we're going to just inhale the arms up and cactus the arms. So squeeze shoulder blades together, and it's like I'm pressing my shoulders back and my chest forward a little bit. I'm doing this to open up my heart space, open up the shoulders, because all these activities that you do at program, they can get you kind of rounded. So open up. Inhale, reach tall, exhale. Then shrug down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus or goalpost those arms. Hold that. Take a breath in and out. Good. Now bring the right hand down. Left arm goes up and over for a side body stretch. I'm going to gaze underneath my arm. And I'm just going to breathe, opening up this whole side body. Let me give you an option too to bring the elbow down and then inhale up and over. Exhale down. Inhale, rainbow the arm up and over. And this is really good if you end up having any lymphedema going on, because this pulsing movement can really help to open up and kind of create flow in there and the stretch with your breath as well. So, feeling that good. And we'll come back down. Feel that whole left side of the arm and notice the tingling that's going on right now. You're moving energy, and that's why it can really help with, if you, like I said, if you do have any of the lymphedema. So now left hand presses into the side, and then right arm rainbows up and over. I forgot to mention, but I'm really pressing into both feet equally here. Good. So I'm inhaling up and over. Exhale, elbow comes down. Inhale up and over. Exhale down. Pulsing on this side, just like I did on the other side. And we'll do one more of these. All right. Now we're going to open up more of these fine motor or micro motor. So if you're going on like a kayaking or rock climbing trip, you would be able to like really benefit from moving your wrists and your shoulders and your neck, because like rock climbing, you're sort of like hunched over or you're belaying and your neck is up, and kayaking, you're sort of also using a lot of your shoulders and you're moving through the water. So this will be helpful. Go ahead, bring your arms forward, tuck the thumbs in, fingers go around, and we're just going to slowly rotate the wrists. And you're going to notice if you do this by keeping the wrists level and rotate out and up and then back down and around, I hear snap, crackle, pops going on in my wrist, which is meaning that I'm like breaking something up and I'm moving some energy and then going the opposite direction. We use our hands for so much. So this is actually really, really beneficial for helping us to move energy. All right, and shake the arms. We'll bring fingertips to the shoulders, and you also don't have to touch your shoulders for this part. You can bring the elbows out and up and exhale them down and around, or fingertips touch the shoulders, depending on how much range of motion you have. But really, these are just like big shoulder stretches. Inhaling up and over, exhale down and around. Oh, it feels good. And then letting the arms settle by your side, and we'll move towards our neck. We'll start by looking over to the right, on up to the sky, open the mouth, exhale down and around. Do that a few times. Inhale, looking over and up, exhale down and around. It's really great if you sit at a computer a lot during the day too. So protect neck, right? Then over the other side. So looking over to the left and up, exhale down and around. Good. And coming back to center. Now we're going to move towards more of the gross motor. So we're going to do some cat cows and move into a downward dog, but we can also use the wall. So if it's hard for you to put a lot of pressure down, like I know if you are navigating some neuropathy, it could be painful to put pressure on your wrists or your hands. So I will be showing you a wall version in just a moment. Otherwise, come down onto hands and knees and we'll move into some cat cows. So from here, we're going to drop the belly, inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, press down, round the spine, touch into chest. Inhale, gaze comes forward, spread shoulder blades down your back, dropping the belly. Exhale, press down and really round and wiggle into the spine. Good job. Do that a few more times. You can also go to the wall and do these here. So I have my hands against the wall and I'm going to inhale. Belly kind of comes forward, shrug shoulders back, then exhale, round top, chin to chest. See how you just kind of move with the breath. Okay. And then we'll go towards puppy or downward dog. So, two options here. From your knees, you can walk the fingertips forward, the bum goes in the air, and the head goes down between the head. If this happens, going to give you quite the shoulder stretch. You can also place your head on a block or a pillow and really opening up the chest and shoulders again. You can also go into a downward dog. So, puppy would be for if you don't want to put any sort of weight on your wrists. And then downward dog is going to be more so where hands are going to be on the ground and I'm going to press up. First, I just like to kind of activate my core and find this like sort of knees hovering, and then tip the sit bones up as my head goes down, and knees are still bent here. Head hangs heavy, really release the head and neck, and then start to press one heel down and then the opposite heel down, sort of walking out the dog, stretching into the calves. Taking deep breaths, of course. Inhale through the nose. And we'll exhale through the mouth a few times. And once again, if this is not comfortable for you, you want to go to the wall, you just simply take your hands to the wall and you start at shoulder width distance, walk them up, and then take the head between the arms. So you get the same exact stretch. Feels the same as it did on my knees, opens up the chest and the shoulders the same way as downward dog or puppy. So lots of great options here. Okay. And so let's start to move to our last exercise. This one's going to open up the hips. So we're going to start by coming down into a low lunge. And I'm going to take, see, left foot forward first here and coming into like a 90-degree angle with my knee down to the heel. And then here two, straight down from my hip. And then you can take your arms up above the head, reach up to the sky as you inhale. Exhale, press down into your foot and knee. So you're opening the hip flexor here, and you can also sort of walk that front foot forward. You want to get a little more of a hip flexor stretch. It's less of a 90-degree angle. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. One more breath. I kickstand my foot behind. I just kind of like swung the heel back and it opens up my hip. So this more like external rotation. And that is going to give me a nice opening. So like when you're doing rock climbing and kayaking, because you're sort of like closing your hips a lot to do the activity, this is really good, helpful to open them. Okay, good. I'm just sort of pulsing here. Some of you might like to take the arms out to the side, and then this is sort of like, you're finding your balance, you're sort of surfing here. Good. Okay. And then from here, I'm just going to sort of kickstand that foot back around, come back to my knees, and then I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to, you can stay where you're at, but I'm going to swing around so that I can bring my right foot forward and still be facing you. And once again, find the 90-degree angle, ground down first, then arms come up overhead. Inhale, reach up through your fingertips. Exhale, press down to the ground. Do that a few times, deciding if you want to wiggle forward a little bit. You just want to keep your knee above your ankle. So you have to move your whole foot forward if you want to. Trying to get into hip flexor stretch. And hands come down to the hips or maybe the floor so you can kickstand your hand or other foot around, externally opening your hip. And once again, I'm sort of pulsing here to open up inner thigh and hip, deciding if I want to surf my arms out, breathing fluidly. Good. I'm bringing my hands down, knees to the ground, and I'm just going to come back up to my feet. Find mountain pose one more time. To be able to do it easily this time, sort of finding your feet, stacking the body on up. And this is just to tune into your body and notice the shift. What has opened up for you? What feels better? I know my hips feel more open, my shoulders, wrists, all of these things. There's energy moving through the body. I feel more calm because I was balancing my breath through all of these movements. And so I hope that you take these with you and prepare for your first ascent experience and use them in life as well.